Have you ever noticed extra stiffness in your knees or a nagging ache in your lower back now that you're over 40? Do you sometimes wonder if simple daily habits are making these issues worse? If you're nodding your head, you're not alone. Many people over 40 face similar problems every day. In fact, studies show that over 60% of adults in this age group deal with ongoing joint or muscle pain. A recent report even found that consistent, gentle exercise can lower chronic discomfort by about 25%. By the end of this video, you will learn 6 easy exercises that can handle up to 95% of these common aches and stiffness. Stick with me, and you'll see how simple it can be to move and feel better. Before we dive into the exercises, remember that the goal here is to keep your body moving in a way that feels good, not to force yourself into painful positions. If anything causes sharp pain, stop and consult a health professional. But if you're ready to follow along, I promise that even small progress with these exercises can lead to big improvements in how you feel each day. Let's begin with our first exercise. It's called the standing hip hinge. As we pass 40, lower back strain can become more common, often because we bend incorrectly when doing everyday tasks, like picking up laundry or bending to grab something on the floor. There's a study from a well-known sports therapy journal that found proper hip hinge form can lower back pain by around 30%. So learning this move can make a real difference in your daily life. To do the standing hip hinge, stand with your feet about shoulder width apart and keep your toes facing forward. Keep your chest lifted and your shoulders back. Now, imagine you're trying to push a door closed with your butt. Gently move your hips backward while keeping your back straight. Let your torso move forward as your hips go back, but don't round your shoulders. It's okay if your knees bend slightly, but most of the movement should come from your hips. When you feel a slight stretch in your hamstrings, the back of your thighs, hold that position for a moment. Then, push through your heels and bring your hips forward to return to the starting stance. Be sure to keep your core, meaning your stomach muscles, active the whole time. This helps protect your spine. Start with about 8 to 10 repetitions and go slowly so you can really feel the correct form. This exercise trains you to bend safely, protecting your lower back over time. Next, let's talk about the wall squat. Stronger leg muscles are crucial, especially after 40, because your legs carry you around all day. A study from the American Council on Exercise pointed out that wall squats help older adults boost leg endurance and stability by about 25%. Here's how to do them. Stand with your back flat against a sturdy wall. Place your feet about 2 feet away from the wall, hip width apart. Then, slide your back down the wall until your thighs are as close to parallel to the floor as you can manage. This position will look like you're sitting on an invisible chair, with your knees aligned over your ankles or just slightly behind your toes. Keep your core tight and press your shoulders back against the wall. If your knees start to hurt, you can adjust how low you slide down. Just don't force anything. Try holding this position for about 10 to 15 seconds at first, breathing steadily. With regular practice, aim for 30 seconds or more. Then, slowly push yourself back up to a standing position. Wall squats not only strengthen your quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes, but they also help you maintain better balance and posture. If you keep doing them, everyday tasks like climbing stairs or getting out of a chair should feel much easier. We've now covered 2 key exercises, the standing hip hinge and the wall squat. If you feel like these tips are helpful, please consider supporting this channel. A simple like, share, or subscribe does more than you might think. It helps the channel grow and allows us to reach more people who want to improve their health after 40. I truly appreciate your support. Alright, let's keep moving forward with the next 2 exercises. These will focus on core stability and flexibility in your hips. Our third exercise is called the bird dog. Many experts highlight that strong core muscles help protect your spine and keep you upright and stable. The bird dog move is gentle yet very effective. Start on your hands and knees. Make sure your hands are under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. Keep your back straight by pulling your belly button in, as if you're bracing for someone to poke you in the stomach. Then, carefully extend your right arm straight in front of you, while, at the same time, extending your left leg straight behind you. Your goal is to form a straight line from your fingertips all the way down to your toes, without letting your back arch too much or your hips tilt. Hold this position for a moment, then bring your arm and leg back to the starting position. Next, switch sides. Extend your left arm forward and your right leg back. Do about 8 to 10 reps on each side. One key tip: if balancing like this is hard at first, just extend your arm or just your leg until you feel more stable. Over time, you'll get better at holding both out at once without wobbling. This exercise challenges the small stabilizer muscles in your core, hips, and lower back, which can really improve your posture and help prevent injuries. Moving on to our fourth exercise, the low lunge stretch. Hips tend to get very tight as we get older, often because we sit for long periods. When your hip flexors, the front part of your hips, are tight, you might experience pain in your lower back or trouble standing up straight. A paper in a physical therapy journal pointed out that older adults who stretch their hip flexors regularly show better walking speed and less stiffness. To do a low lunge stretch, step your right foot forward into a lunge, letting your left knee rest on the floor. It helps to have a soft surface like a yoga mat or a folded towel under your knee. Keep your right knee over your right ankle and place your hands on your hips or your thigh for balance. Gently push your hips forward until you feel a stretch in the front of your left hip. Stay tall in your posture. Avoid hunching your shoulders forward. Hold this stretch for about 20-30 seconds, breathing slowly. Then, switch sides by bringing your left foot forward and resting your right knee on the floor. Like all stretches, this should feel like a good pull, but never painful. Over time, you should notice less tightness in your hips and better range of motion when you do things like climb stairs or step into a car. So far, we've gone through 4 moves: the standing hip hinge, wall squat, bird dog, and low lunge stretch. At this point, you might already feel that each exercise targets a different area of your body. Together, they form a balanced approach to combat common problems like lower back pain, hip tightness, and weak leg muscles. The key is to do them regularly, about 3 to 4 times a week. Be patient with yourself if you're new to these moves. With consistent practice, your muscles will adapt, and you'll likely see progress in just a few weeks. Let's move on to 2 more exercises that will round out this routine. They focus on building more upper body strength and boosting spinal flexibility, both of which are essential as we get older. Sometimes we notice that tasks like picking up groceries or reaching for something on a high shelf become harder. These exercises can help make those tasks feel easier again. The 5th exercise is the modified push-up. Many people think push-ups are only for athletes, but there's a gentler version that can be just as effective in strengthening your arms, chest, and shoulders. Harvard researchers have pointed out that regular push-up practice can lower the chances of shoulder pain and improve daily upper body strength. For a modified push-up, start on your hands and knees, just like with the bird dog, but position your hands a little wider than shoulder width apart. Instead of extending one arm and one leg, you'll lower your chest toward the floor while keeping your knees on the ground. Keep your back straight. Avoid letting your lower back sag. Inhale as you lower down, and exhale as you push back up to the start. If it's too challenging, you can try placing your hands on a sturdy table or countertop and do an angled push-up instead. That way, you put less weight on your upper body. Aim for about 8 to 10 repetitions at first, and slowly increase this number as you gain strength. Over time, if you find these modified push-ups easy, you can try the regular version on your toes. The main thing is to keep your form correct to avoid injury. Our 6th and final exercise is the seated spinal twist. As we age, the spine can become less flexible, which often leads to stiffness when we twist or bend. Gentle twisting exercises help maintain or improve that flexibility, and physical therapists often recommend them to relieve lower back tension. To do a seated spinal twist, sit on a sturdy chair or on the floor with your legs extended. If you're on a chair, place both feet flat on the ground. Sit up tall, as if someone is pulling the top of your head upward. Now, slowly twist to the right. If you're on a chair, place your left hand on the outside of your right thigh. You can use your right hand on the chair's backrest for a bit of support. If you're on the floor, you can place your left hand on your right knee and your right hand behind you. Hold this gentle twist for about 15 to 20 seconds, taking slow breaths. Then, carefully return to center and repeat on the other side, twisting to the left. Keep the movement slow and controlled. There's no need to force yourself into a deep twist. Over time, you'll find your range of motion increases, and your lower back may feel looser during everyday movements. There you have it. 6 exercises that can help tackle the everyday aches, pains, and mobility issues many people face after 40. Standing hip hinge, wall squat, bird dog, low lunge stretch, modified push-up, and seated spinal twist. Practice these moves consistently, and you'll address about 95% of common stiffness. Support your overall health by getting enough rest, staying hydrated, and choosing nutrient-rich foods. Adding light cardio, such as walking or swimming, boosts heart health without stressing your joints. Stay motivated by setting small, realistic goals, and always listen to your body's signals. Remember, progress takes time, but with commitment and patience, you'll see how much better you can feel at any age.